Okay, ji, Assalamu alaikum. So we're going to start off with cash books today. It's a three-column cash book that we're going to do. A three-column cash book is required for the following month, for the following transactions. The cash book should be balanced off at the end of the month. It says the 1st of October balance is brought forward. So you have $115 in cash and your bank has an overdraft of 290. So you're going to put these balances into your cash book. The format will be given to you. So on the debit side, I'm going to write down October 1 and I'm going to write down balance brought down. For the cash column, it is going to be $115. You don't have balances for discount because on the debit side, you have discount allowed, and discounts allowed are operating expenses. Whereas on the credit side, you have discounts received, and discount received are other incomes. Okay. So you don't have balances for expenses and incomes, right? Now, the balance brought down for bank would be on the credit side. Why? Because it says credit side, because this is an overdraft, bank overdraft. Matlab you have to pay to the bank $290, right? Paid the creditors. Now, creditors are suppliers or trade payables, right? You're paying your trade payables, so you'll always look out for cash inflows or outflows. So I think in this question, you're paying by check. This means it is an outflow. And by check, check is a banking instrument. तो इसको बैंक में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. So G Denton, on the 3rd of October, you have G Denton, and the amount is 440. These are before discount amounts, and you've received a 5% discount. So 440 into 5% is going to give you your discount. That's going to be $22. And then 440 minus $22, the actual amount that you've paid through check, and it's in the bank column. The second person you have is L. Lewis. So on the 3rd of October, you don't have to write down the date again. L. Lewis. The amount owing to L. Lewis was 120. You received a discount of $6. That's 5% of $120. $6 ये हो गया $114 the actual cash outflow. Okay. And the next is cash sale. Now, cash, whenever you sell goods, you will always and always receive money. That's a cash inflow. So on the 5th of October, cash inflow because of sales, and the amount is $489 in the cash account, right? Next, you have paid. So whenever you see paid, that's a cash outflow. On the 9th of October, you've paid 300 cash into the bank account. So cash balance goes down एंड बैंक बैलेंस गोज अप सो यू हैव जैसे हमारे ड्रॉर में बैंक कैश पड़ा हुआ था हमने कैश डिपॉजिट कराया राइट सो दैट्स पेड $300 इनटू द बैंक अकाउंट द बैंक बैलेंस गोज अप द कैश बैलेंस गोज डाउन so the cash balance has to go down by 300. And where is it going, sir? It's going into the bank account, and you write it down in the cash column that this amount has flown into the bank, right? Now on the debit side, you write down because there's money coming into the bank account, you write down the cross reference as cash and the amount is $300 in the bank account. तो अगर मैं तुमसे पूछूं ये 300 बैंक में कहाँ से आए तो you'll say sir on the 9th of October you've deposited because this entry appears on both sides of the cash book. You call this a contra entry. Okay, so you please indicate by a C on both sides of the cash book that this is a contra entry. Then received checks, that's cash inflow from customers for account totals as follows. So R move 264, L Webster and all of this, but you will have to allow a discount of 2.5% on all of these amounts, right? So the amount that R more had to pay us was 264 into 2.5%. That makes it $6.6 of discount that you've allowed. This is the 13th of October. You write down R more because you're receiving money. It's on the debit side. R more से हमने पैसे रिसीव किए 264 रिसीव करने थे but you gave him a 2.5% discount that makes it the discount amount is $6.6 and then out of 264 you take this away you get to the amount of money you receive. Now you've received checks, right? So it has to be in the bank column and that's 257.4. The next person you have is L Webster. L Webster. The amount L Webster had to pay us was 360, but we gave him a 2.5% discount. That makes it $9 of discount given. Dash. The amount of money received by check, that is a banking instrument, the bank में जाएगा. It's not going to be 360. It is going to be $9 lesser than 360. That's $351. The third person you have is CWeb. CWeb, because there's money coming in, it's on the debit side. $120, but you're giving him a 2.5% discount. That makes it $3. The amount of money received is 120. No, It's not 120, it's $3 lesser than $120, right? Then you have on the 19th of October, you have cash purchases. Whenever you purchase, cash flows out. So it is on the credit side and it is through cash. So you've paid through cash. So you've purchased goods, but you've paid through cash and that amount is $78. Straightforward transaction. Paid rent, that's a cash outflow again. So it's on the 20th. And what are you paying? You're paying by rent. You're paying by bank and you're paying for rent. The amount is $56 in the bank column, $56, straightforward transaction. Received is again cash inflow. It's on the 22nd. You've received money from H. Qasim, but H. Qasim will obviously would want a discount, right? He says received $90, received check of $90 from H. Qasim in settlement of sales worth $95. So you had sold goods to him worth $95, but he's paying only $90. He's paying through check. There has to be a $90 inflow in the bank account, but you've allowed a discount of $5 because हमने सेल किया था $95 की चीज़ें बट मिली वापस कैश कितना मिला या बैंक में कितना पैसा है, that's $90. $5 of discount was allowed. Now, cash withdrawn from bank for personal use. Whenever you see personal use, it has to be drawings. Personal use के लिए cash withdraw करोगे, has to be drawings. You need to understand that drawings key transaction is not a contra entry. Whenever you withdraw cash for office use or for business use, that is a contra entry. But this was for um, uh, personal use, you will not record it as a contra entry. So because cash is withdrawn, your cash balance has gone down. It has to be on the credit side. It's 25th, and these are drawings, and the amount for drawings are $100 from the bank. So $100 gone. Next is paid deed oil. Paid is outflow. So 29th, you paying deed oil, but you would want a discount. देखते हैं discount कितना है. So you've paid deed oil by check for $85 in settlement of $95 account balance. अगर तुमने पे करने थे $95, the actual cash outflow is $85 because it's a check. It goes into the bank account. But 95 पे करने थे sir, 85 पे किए, वो $10 कहाँ गए? That's the amount of discount that you've received. Understood? Next is received commission. That's again cash inflow. 30th, what are you receiving? I'm receiving commission through bank or cash, through check. So it has to be a banking transaction, and $46. A straightforward transaction. This is how you input transactions into your cash book. Now comes the most important part. It's the balancing. So I'll give you some steps. You follow those steps forever. Okay. So leave two lines after the last transaction, first of all, and total all of the columns. So you make lines and you make a double line. A double line is important. So you will be awarded marks for your format. So please make sure at the end of the cash book you draw a double line. Okay. Then you will first total the discounts column. So on the debit side, you have discounts allowed. I'm going to add 6.6 and 9 and 3 and 5. This gives me a total of $23.6. And on the credit side, I have 22 plus 6 plus 10, which makes it a total of $38. You have discounts allowed का total कर लिया, discount received का total कर लिया. Then you will total the cash account. And cash account, the debit side will always be heavy because you can't have say minus $10 in your pocket, right? You have to have a positive balance in the cash account. So the debit side will always be heavier. So the debit side values for cash are 115 and 489. You add them up, that makes it a total of 604. Now you write 604 on both sides, but sir, the credit side is not 604, it's a smaller amount. The difference between the two sides would then be your balance carried down. Because this is October, October is a month of 31 days, so October 31st, you write down balance carried down, and the amount for balance carried down should be the difference between the two columns of the cash account. So on the debit side, you had a total of 604. Can you take these two amounts away, please? 604 minus 300 minus 78 makes it $226, right? The balance of cash you have at the end of this month is $226. This has to be brought down or carried down to the next month or brought down from the previous month, right? So October ke baad is November. The first day of November is November 1st. The balance that you've brought down from the previous month in the cash column is $226. Understood? Then we move on to the bank account. You already had an overdraft, so I'm going to be very cautious about the total of the heavier total. So I have the debit side. The debit side has values 300, 257.4, 350, 117, 1946. But if you look at the balances on the credit side first, you'll have to obviously judge which side is heavier. So I'm going to write down the totals of both sides bilkul at the end if you want to, or you can, by looking at the figures, if you can figure it out, that also is a very good thing. So 290 plus 418 plus 114 plus 56 plus 100 plus 85. I'm going to write with a pencil here 1063, the total of the credit column of the bank account, and then 300 plus 257.4 plus 351 plus 117 plus 90 plus 46. This makes it total of 1161.4. Now out of these values, you're going to judge which side is the heavier side. Obviously, by the looks of it, it appears to be the debit side, right? So the total of the debit side is um, 1161.4. The heavier side totals are always placed in the totals, okay? So total करोगे ना तो heavier side का total on both sides, please. 1161.4, 1161.4. But there is a balance that remains on the bank account because the credit side is the shorter side. So you had a total of 1063 on the credit side. 1161.4 minus 1063 will give you the difference, and the difference is $98.4. So because this is on the credit side, this has to be brought down on the debit side underneath the totals. You write down 98.4. The positioning of balance carried down, balance brought down has been an issue. Please make sure that you don't forget how to place the balance brought downs, balance carried downs. Please make sure that you put down your dates for your examinations. And if you have any queries, please let me know. Thank you.